Okay, I had some thoughts on how you might go about trying to um, maximize your retirement, depending on what age you're going to retire. There's a lot of things that go into this, and I'm not taking account tax consequences, what income you might have earned while you're working if you don't retire, other things if you retire late, you're missing out on maybe seeing your grandkids, spending time with family. Um, so there's a lot. I'm not accounting that. I'm just looking at the pure numbers and just look. So I just want to kind of see how I can maximize um, when I retire, maximize the amount I'm going to get. It's kind of a complicated problem. So if I retire at 70 years old, well, I'm gonna live, and I figure, well, I'm gonna live till 92. Well, I'm gonna get these two monthly payments. Here's my pension, and here's my Social Security. I'm just looking these, these numbers. You can this isn't necessarily me. I'm just saying, if this was me, this would be my pension, and this would be my Social Security. And so let's say if I retire, I'm 70. Well, then these would what I get every month. This would be locked in as my monthly payment. So I would have that monthly payment all the way till I'm 92. So what is that worth? What if I retire? If I retire when I'm 80, well, then I'm not going to get those monthly payments as long. So it's kind of confusing. Like, how am I going to figure out which is best? So I'm going to kind of show you how I think about it. So let's just go ahead and just do one example, and then we'll look at overall. So what you could calculate something called the present value. Yeah, so the present value is if you take all those payments, all those monthly payments, and you discount them back at the inflation rate, which is 2.87%. And I got this using BLS.gov. I looked from 1981 to October 2004, and I just calculated what return I would, what my annual return I would need in order to get those inflation numbers. Anyway, this is a number I came up with for this time period using BLS.gov. And this life expectancy, this is for a person. I looked up this, a person, and this person actually took real good care of themselves. So 92 years old, and then again, a lot of these are big assumptions. Even though this is the average life expectancy, you might do all this and you're going to say, well, and you end up getting cancer or something, and you're not going to live that long. Right. So this is just assuming, if you live that long and I retire then. So anyway, so let's just kind of get into this. It'll make more sense once I do it. So first of all, we need to calculate the number of periods, number of months, right? So that's going to be equal to, well, my life expectancy minus when I retire, and I take that times 12 months per year. So this is 264 months. Okay, so that's how long you're going to receive. So you're going to receive these two payments for 264 months. Let me put the formula in here. Okay, so we have that, and then we can do, well, we have to figure out the total payment, right? So let's go ahead and go here. We'll just go say total, and I'm just going to equals this plus this. This is the total monthly payment of the two together. Now you'll see, so like Social Security, you can look these up too if you have a Social Security account. One thing about Social Security, it quits increasing at 70. And another thing I'm not taking into account, there's always a lot of times changes, even here in tax consequences. They're talking about not taxing Social Security anymore. They're also talking about, and also you get periodic adjustments for inflation. I'm not taking that into account. I'm assuming this is static, which is not necessarily going to happen. Usually they make inflation adjustments on your Social Security. Pensions usually are locked in. They don't do any inflation adjustment, but they keep going higher and higher and higher as you wait to retire, right? So anyway, so this is a total payment, and so now we could look up the payment, and I'm gonna do this even though I could just go equals 70. I could go here and pick it up, right? But I want to do this. So if I change this to 71, it goes and picks up 71. So that changes. So I'm gonna do something called X lookup. So I'm gonna go equals X lookup, and I want to look up this value. And where do I want to look it up? I want to look it up over here in these numbers, and I want to return this total. Okay. And then we also want to do, if I do like 70.5, I just want to go to the next smallest number. Okay. So if I did 70.5, if we can't find it here, just go to 70, just to be conservative. So of course I looked up, if it works right, I should look up this, and did I look up the 80. So I'm going to put the formula in here. We say per month. Let's put that formula in so you can see it. So once we have the number of months and the present value is 0, right? So we don't need that. We know this is 0. We're going to start from 0. Oh, we don't know. No, I'm sorry. It's not 0. The future value is 0. The present value is what we want to calculate. So the present value, I'm going to go equals PV, and the rate is 2.87%. Now that's per year, right? So I got to divide it by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. The number of periods is 264 months. And the payment is under here. I can't click on it. So I'm just going to type B13. And then I'm going to close it. So I'm going to put a negative sign in front of this just to make it positive, because it's kind of confusing when you see negative. So this is the present value. So if you took this payment for 264 months, that's going to be different than this. If I go equals 264 times this, that's a lot higher, right? But I'm adjusting it for inflation. So adjusting for inflation, it's not this. This is what you're actually getting. This is what it feels like, because as prices go up, this is the number you'd actually get, but it's going to feel like this. That's why I'm adjusting it for inflation. Okay. Let's go ahead and put the formula in here. Okay. So the question is, well, what if I start changing these variables? Remember, these are my assumptions. What if I start changing this? Can I make this adjust? Well, the way I set this up, I kind of set it up to where it can do it. I can go here and I can go 71 and it adjusts it, right? Because this is 92.24 a month. Okay, I can go here 72. So you can actually go and look at these different ones, right? And just kind of put them in there and see. But really, Solver can kind of, so we want to maximize this, right? That's the whole question. How do we maximize this? So, so the way to maximize it is you could go, so you could have to do something. You have to turn something called Solver on. So you go to File, and then go down here to Options, and then here to Add-ins, and then go OK. Or then add-ins, and then down to Excel add-ins, you go. And you want to make sure the Solver is clicked, right? Mine is clicked, so I'm just gonna hit cancel. Once you have Solver, you can go here into Data, and then go over here to Solver. And I want to set this as my objective. I want to maximize it by changing the number of years. I can't do anything about life expectancy, right? But the number of years till I retire, I can change that. And we want to add some constraints. We want to say that the retirement age has to be less than or equal to, well, I only go up to 83 on here. So I got to get, if I go any higher than that, it won't find it, right? And I'm going to add another one. The retirement age has to be greater than or equal to 65, right? Because I only go down to 65. And I'll add one more thing just to make this so it only uses integers, only uses 72, 73, 74. I'm going to add that, okay, also. So I have those constraints that it's less than or equal to 83. It's an integer, and it's greater than or equal to 65. Now, the other thing is that I find this works best if I use evolutionary. And so if I go solve, and you can see here it's going through a lot of trials. It's already found a solution. So I'm just going to hit escape at that point and then go stop and okay. So it says 70 years. Okay, so let's see. Is that right? Well, let's try 69 and see if it's less. Okay, that's less. I'll try 71, see if it's more. Go back to 70. So you can see 70 is the maximum. So what's going on here? Let's do one more thing. Let's go ahead and calculate the present value of each one of these. So I'm going to go equals PV. Now let me move this over so you can see what I'm doing. How can I do this? Let me do this. So we go equal. So I'm going to go equals PV, and the rate is this divided. Well, we're going to F4 that because I'm going to copy that down. I could type those dollar signs, but F4 that locks it in. So I move this formula down and won't move. Okay, and the number of periods is going to be parentheses this minus this. Okay, well, not minus this, right? And we want to make sure this, we want to F4 that because I want to lock it into the 92 minus 65. And then times 12. And the payment is going to be this payment. So I'm going to make this a negative payment so I get a positive answer. I can put the negative in the front when I'm done. And then I'm just going to hit enter. I forgot to put the parentheses at the end. I'm going to go ahead and take that. And let's go ahead and format this the same. Okay, so let me see. I might probably. Oh, I forgot to divide this by 12. Divide by 12. Does that work? Okay. So then if I copy it down, now I can see them all. So if I did it right, this was for 70. Should be the same, right? So for 70, I get the same number. Okay. So what I want to do, I just want to copy this now. So I'll copy this. I'll copy this. Let's just kind of see what's going on. And I'm going to go insert. I'm going to insert a scatter plot. And then, so this is kind of what's going on as far as the present value. And let's just go ahead. We don't need all these ages all the way down below 60. So I'm going to click here, right click, format axis. Let's just go to like 63. Okay, and then we don't need all these numbers. Let's just go down to like 600,000. So let's go to here, just so you can see what's going on. Format axis. Let's go. The minimum is 600,000. Here, so you just kind of see. So you can see here at age 70. Now let's go ahead and add some more ages here. Format axis. We'll do this. We'll do the major axes by 1, just so we can see them. So either age 70 is the maximum, right? So it kind of falls off after that because Social Security. So in that case, so anyway, hopefully that kind of helps how I did that. So you could get this information. You go to Social Security and find out when I suggest if you haven't ever signed up for Social Security online, you can go online and look at what ages. Put in your assumptions and how much you're going to get per month if you retire at certain ages. If you have a pension, you can go online usually and find out what your pension is going to be at each retirement age. So it's pretty easy to kind of calculate this. So this person here, another thing is you can also change your life expectancy here. So if maybe I say, well, 92, let me go 85. Let's be conservative. Okay, so that automatically changes everything here. And then also you can say, I want to retire at 65. That's not going to change this down here, right? But it'll give you the number, right? So 60, but you can also read it off this graph. 65 would be 1.132. So anyway, so I can basically tell you what you're going to make over until you die and what the present value of those payments are, discounted back at, adjusted for inflation. That's basically what this shows you. Like I say, this is not accounting for a lot of things. Income taxes. If you retire here, then you miss all that income you earned. What if you're making $100,000 a year? Well, you're missing that $100,000 a year that you could have been paying bills, saving more for retirement. You might have additional money you're putting in a 401k or a retirement IRA or in stock markets. It's not taking into account any of that because all that money you could be putting money in over this time too, right? So very simple. I'm just showing a simple little piece here. How you could actually kind of adjust, calculate this very easily. So anyway, if that's interesting to you and you like my video, give me a thumbs up. My picture will come up here. If you like to see videos like this, click my picture. I do a lot of finance videos on Excel on finance videos. So if you click my picture, it'll subscribe to the channel. Give me any comments if you like it. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.